to Instagram. So we are live, most likely on YouTube and Facebook page. And as usual, we are waiting for Instagram. Haha, we maybe got it this time. Let's see. There we go. And now we have Instagram. It is so slow. So I have an awesome guest for y'all today. This is Jamie, aka Scout or Finchmod. Can y'all guess what book she likes? Like whenever I see anybody with Scout as a name or a like business name or whatever, my first thought is always To Kill a Mockingbird.
Well, I was an English teacher and was teaching 10th grade English back in 1995 when I got my first dog, and we named her Scout because I was teaching To Kill a Mockingbird. So I have been Scout for many, many years. And people don't know my real name, and I just usually go by Scout. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, my husband, he's an English teacher. He mostly teaches senior English. There were a few years in there where they had him, like, they restructured the whole system, and they're like, we're going to put the best teachers with the freshmen so that when they come in, we can get them all caught up. So he got moved down to freshmen, and then they were like, never mind, maybe we should deal with the problem before they get to high school. And so then he got to go back to senior again.
Yeah, I've taught 8th grade, but I preferred probably 10th and 11th graders were my favorite. But now I teach freshmen, college freshmen, and they're by far my favorite group. So
I taught 6th grade math, and I taught college costume tech. I definitely prefer the college kids, and I never wanted to teach math. I applied for the elementary art teaching position.
Shit. Yeah, I love my college kids. Like, I got them registered to vote yesterday, which was really cool.
Nice. Yeah, college kids are a lot of fun. And of course, I was running a costume department for a theater, and I had all the costumey kids, and they were a ton of fun.
Yeah, we have some really cool stuff at the college where I teach, and they have like a whole like makers area in our library, so kids can go and do things like 3D print, embroider, screen printing. It is like the coolest thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got a lot of my kids into crochet when I was teaching college, when I was running the costume shop. We did a production where it was a production of Ball, and it was very surreal, and one of the people was sitting on a tall wall crocheting a scarf. By the end of the show, it was like 12 feet long.
Oh, that's so funny.
But I ended up teaching like everybody how to crochet. It was really fun.
That is awesome. I love that.
I believe I might have even taught Joe, which means it's something very unknown by Joe's in Chicago Fire. What is his last name? He's Puerto Rican. Apparently he's like a heartthrob now, but to me, he'll always be my little kid. Minoso. Joe Minoso. That's his name. His last name. I'm pretty sure I taught him how to crochet.
That's awesome.
Because he was one of my more work study kids. BD Wong. Yes, BD Wong is very much into knitting. I believe I saw all of BD Wong in M Butterfly when I was like 15 or 16. It was him and the guy from Third Rock from the Sun, whose name is totally spacing on me right now. Mm-hmm. I don't remember. But anyway, that's not what this is all about today. We just totally got sidetracked. We haven't even started yet, and we're already sidetracked. Sarah, not French Stewart. The other one. And no, not the kid. Sarah, since you're here and so active, can you tell me, do you see our names? John Lithgow, yes. Do you see our names? Because I don't see them up here. For some reason, it's not showing them. Oh, there we go. Now it is. It's because I was showing the words. Oh my goodness. I think that, I haven't been doing this for nearly a year now. Yeah, we figured it out, Sarah. It just took me a while. Sometimes I'm a little slow. So Jamie, who is awesome, we want to show off something real quick. Let me see if I can just pull this up. So Jamie, why don't you tell us a little bit about your shop? And I'm going to pull up this really cool little...
Okay. Well, you can see some of my favorite things are behind me up on my little yarn and bag wall. Basically, I ran a shop, and there's some people now that I've actually had some of my older customers come back and be like, "Wait, I think I bought fiber from you." I started Scouts Swag back in 2006 through 2011. And it stemmed from the fact that I'm kind of one of those people who just make connections with people. And I always kind of know, like, hey, this is cool. Check this out. This is cool. I love this. I've always been like that. So I had someone who said, you should have a shop where you sell all the things, all your connections. And so Scout Swag was born. It was back when indie dyers were just starting. I was on Nitty Gritty with Vicky Howell showing how to dye yarn. I had a book contract with Melanie Fallick. I mean, it's silly now, but I was like an influencer back then. And I'm still really good friends with all of the people that I met back then. And so it's a very long story, but I stopped because I ended up getting divorced and I went back to teaching so I could have a job with health insurance because my kids were little. But after some medical stuff over the last few years where I ended up, it's a crazy story, but I have had 2 organ transplants in the last year. My daughter donated.
Organ donors, people,
Yeah.
do that. Make sure it's on your license, and any of the live donor stuff that you are eligible to sign up for. Did you know you can even donate your uterus when you're done with it?
So I did not know that. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Living donor stuff, either women with issues or trans women.
I did not know that.
I don't believe all states are doing it yet, but you can look it up.
Wow. Yeah. So my daughter donated her liver to me. She is a D1 soccer player and gave up playing her senior year to donate. And so last year I got her liver. She is now playing. And she's the only D1 She's the only D1 soccer player to return to play. Anyway, then I got a kidney transplant this year. I have polycystic liver, polycystic kidney disease.
Oh, wow.
So it was.
I didn't know that was other than ovaries. I had no idea.
Yeah, no, it's my aunt. Everyone on my maternal side has had, my mom passed away from it. My grandmother did. My aunt, uncle, and brother have all had kidney transplants. Wow. I'm the only one who's needed a liver. But it was in March of this year when one of my best friends, and I'm sure that you and all of your people will know my best friend, Drew, the crochet dude. He is
I finally got to meet him in person at H&H.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And Charles.
Yep. He is my best friend. And
I love him so much.
Yeah.
Actually, he's mine now. I licked him. He's mine.
Oh gosh. I'll have to ask him about that.
We were doing a stretching exercise and he went like this and his hand was right in front of my face.
Oh, so
I'm like, you're mine now.
I have not licked him, but I love him. And so he started talking about, I knew first when they were going to start this new shop that they have, that they opened up, a few months ago.
I know that you can drink in it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And so when he started doing that, I am not the kind of person that ever gets FOMO, but I have FOMO. And I think it was because, I had to stop doing it and it wasn't by my choice. So all of a sudden was like, I want to open up a yarn shop. So basically Scout Swag came back. I didn't want to do it as Scout Swag again. So that's where Finch came from. But my yarn is still Scout Swag and the shop is Finch Mod. Of course, this is when the guy comes to mow my lawn, so I'm sorry.
Oh, totally. I don't even hear it. You're all good.
Okay. But so it's really, I carry all of the same stuff that I carried before and some, but my idea this time was to have it be more of a collective. So I have all kinds of craft kits. I have embroidery, macrame, cross stitch, and punch rug kits, and they're all really cool. I will always carry my no knit bags, they've been around for almost 20 years. And here's my thing. Drew always makes me feel bad about this kind of stuff because I try to be all inclusive. I am not just for the knitters. If I ever slip up and say knitting, he's like, and crocheters. But the bags, which do say no knits, but this is before it was, not politically correct. Yeah, before politically correct times, and probably wouldn't have said no knit. I'm good friends with the woman who, came up with, who started that company. they are for crocheters too, even though they say knit on it. So my crochet people, please know they are project bags, and they are like the best bags ever if you've never seen them. But yeah, so my shop was born, and you know, at first I went through and I dyed. You can see a lot of the stuff that's up there. I went through and kind of dyed some of my same colorways and everything, but then I got into what we're going to talk about because what has kind of rocked my world a little bit, but in a good way, because all the people get to see who I am again, and you know, a lot of people remember me, and it's been fun.
Well,
So
knowing you're Drew's best friend, like that totally makes sense to me. Like I get this now. Do you live in Michigan or near Michigan? Are you anywhere near them now?
No, but see, I live in Austin, and he lived in Houston.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was wondering if you lived in Texas, because I didn't remember noticing where you live. So you live.
Yeah, so we
how far is Austin and Houston? I have no idea.
2.5 hours.
Okay,
it's far enough.
Far for Texas.
Yeah, it's far enough that like anytime there is a terrible weather in Houston, I don't have the same weather. People are like, "Are you okay?" There was like,
you have a new friend though.
Oh yay! Okay, yeah, I'm just south of Austin, and we've been here for like 3.5 years. So
okay.
Yeah, but I'm also an educator. So when I first project bags, yes, I have. You can see. I think there's. Oh, I go the opposite. That one, oh my gosh, the pink one, I have 3 different ones. One of them I've had for almost 20 years, but yeah, I basically put any project that I'm working on, I do that. And those things, I'm just gonna have to plug it. Not for me necessarily, just the bags. The idea behind it was my friend Jen was on a plane, and her yarn rolled down the aisle, which is someone.
Oh yes.
There. So she came up with this idea, and the cool thing about them is that they have the bottom is like flat and round. So
we'll pull them up and look at it on the.
Okay, yeah. And it's like it's ripstop nylon, and nice. It's like I just traveled, and it was awesome because I just, you know, wherever I was, if you go to my, I think TikTok and Instagram, I posted, you know, I knit the whole way, and I just have my bag, and I have bags and bags and bags and bags. Yeah,
cool.
So yeah, all right. So in my shop. That's how it came about.
Why don't we show this awesome thing that is here? We'll take a look at the bags in a second, but first, I'm
gonna grab one because just so.
Okay. And before we talk completely about the bags, and we'll look at them online too. First, I want to look at the thing that. Yeah. First, I want to look at the thing that made me find you, which is this.
Yes, my pearls, chucks, and I won't say it, 0 Fs.
Yeah. I was like, I warned her. I was like, okay. While I definitely have the mouth of a sailor's daughter who used to be in theater, yes, this is the middle of the day, and there might be kids home.
Yeah, no. I won't say it. Listen, I've been a teacher for 30 years. I know how to handle myself. Otherwise, my dad's from Long Island, and I was born in Philly. So trust me, that's how I normally talk. But yeah, the idea behind this was, and I'm going to plug my business coach and my really good friend, and people
plug whoever you want.
Because, so Kate Gilbert, who actually right now is about to start another one of her, and if you just go to kategilbert.com, she is the person who came up right now. Everyone is celebrating Clap-O-Tee, her pattern that she wrote 20 years ago for
I remember that one.
Yeah, and so we're celebrating that. That's a whole big thing right now. But she came up with the idea and ran Twist Collective, which was another online knitting magazine. I don't remember if there was crochet stuff in that. But during the pandemic, she decided that she is a graphic designer and has done all kinds of stuff marketing wise. She came up with this idea to become, because people needed it, a small business coach. And so when I decided to do all of this, has been instrumental in helping me kind of get my act together and focus, because my ADHD kind of, you know, is not my superpower sometimes. So this
is why I always get sidetracked.
Yes, no, for sure. So I was with you when we first started, but she's the one who actually, she texted me, you know, so we're really good friends, but I did her 30-day sprint, which a new one starts next Monday. So if any of you are out there like wanting to figure out how to, you know, get your business going and doing, you know, if you need some help, especially with like social media stuff, marketing, she is brilliant. So I really recommend.
Say her name again, and Sarah or Monique, my mods and mod-ish, Can one of you find her link? What's the
Yeah,
name of it?
it's look up Kate Gilbert. I think if you just go to kategilbert.com, it pulls up her website.
One
But
of them will toss it in here and then we'll bring it
okay,
up on the
yeah,
screen.
cool. Well, so
Yeah.
it was her idea. She texted me, I don't know, like over a month ago, and she said you should do Kamala Chuck's yarn, and I kind of was like, huh, okay. But I mean, and I think this is something that we were going to talk about. I am a Gen Xer. I'm 54 years old. So
Yeah, I'm 48. I'm a Gen Xer too. Yeah.
okay, I have grown up in the time where we do not, especially if you run a business, you do not talk about politics. That is like, I have that thank you. Yeah, I have that is ingrained like in me. But, talking with Kate, and I really trust what she has to say, we had a really long discussion about it. And she just said, I think if there's ever a time, this is the time for you to make a stance. And especially because for me, like authentically, it definitely, it's very near and dear to my heart because as it says on there, my son is gay. He's 25, going to be 26 years old. And I have a daughter and I live in Texas, and I want my kids and their kids and all of us to just, to have rights. And I think a lot about my daughter who saved my life, and for her, she's moving back here in 2 months, and it terrifies me, to be honest. For her, I mean, I've had many conversations with my husband about, she asked him to legally adopt her, so that's her dad, but he's not used to having a girl. He has 2 older boys. And I'm just like, babe, you have to understand that, like, she comes to Texas, she kind of doesn't really have very many rights over her body. So I'm not going to get into all that. But anyway,
They're used to it for me. It's all good. I mean,
okay. Well, yes, I know.
And I think that's, my father's a businessman. He ran his own business. And again, he's baby boomer. I'm Gen X. And so, yeah, that whole no politics with your business thing is like drilled into your head.
Mm-hmm.
But no politics in business was so much different. One, when it was offline, and two, when politics were politics, not basic human rights.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, basic human rights are being wrapped up into politics.
Yeah.
And you can't, I can sit back and shut up about the housing market, kind of, sort of. I can keep that separate from my business. But when you're talking about whether or not, I mean, even before I had 2 queer kids, but now, especially when you're talking about whether or not my son has the right to be a son, I mean, I have some words to say to you if you're going to tell me my son is a girl.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to tell me my daughter can't fall in love with another woman because that's who she loves.
Exactly.
So, and I was that way before I had kids and before I knew they were both queer. I was always that way. And nowadays, it's not politics anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. And I really kind of had, this was, we just had one open up nearby here, and I will never step foot in that place. But yeah, so I will fully admit, it scared the absolute crap out of me to make this decision. But I was just like, you know what? This is my business. I still work full time. I teach and I have a full-time job. I kind of thought, you know what, I'm going to roll the dice and take this gamble because I know everyone in my world is so passionate about this. And I think the fact, again, that I did the video, if you go to my Instagram or TikTok, I mean, I explained, like, I want, as it says here, I said, currently, I said, it's more than just a statement of solidarity and commitment to making a difference. I want to celebrate joy. And it will, it's really important to me I just want my kids to be safe. I want them to get medical care if they need it. I want my son to be able to marry whoever the heck he wants. And those 2 things alone just inspired me to do this. So she told me, let's Kamala. So I kind of started thinking about the different chucks that she wears. So I had this idea, and it's so hard to see in there. I actually have a couple skeins here. This is the fun. Yeah, it's really kind of like a charcoaly, a charcoal, like a dark, it's like charcoaly color. And the best part, let me see if I can, is where the blues and the reds hit.
I was really looking at it earlier today, and I was like, this is so pretty. I know what I'm doing when we're done.
Yeah, and I will tell you, so here's, I've knit already a few
hats. I just have to decide which size. So can you tell us a little bit about the sizes?
Yeah, so
There's
I
like
have
2 fingerings. Yeah.
yeah, so the fingering weights I carry, my I call it my OG, and it's literally what I used to sell. And that one is, I would say, I don't know how to explain it. It's if anyone knows Blue Moon Fiber Arts and the socks that rock, that's all that I'm gonna say because it's
I love Blue Man socks that rock.
yeah.
I mean
So
Blue Man. I said Blue
it's
Man.
I'm just gonna say that one. Most people can't get that one, and that's what that one is.
And
So
that's the Scout
it's
OG fingering.
yeah. So it's
Oh
like
yeah, guys, that would kick butt. I might have to get that one. I wasn't sure which one to get. I was like, I'll
yeah.
wait till after I talk to her and then I'll
Yeah,
decide.
no, that one I absolutely love that one. And the other one is great. And it's but for me, I really like when it's almost like when the ply is a little bit twistier and like it's like round, like tubular almost. That's the only way that I can explain it.
Yeah, it's
Otherwise,
really
you
cool.
yeah, I don't like, and not that any of my yarn splits, but it's like I love knitting the OG. So yeah, I have a couple fingering weights. I have a Sporty Spice, a sport weight. And then there is a cashmere Aran, like I that one is, it's beautiful. It's really thick and squishy. Everything is squishy. I went back and retested a whole bunch of different bases before I
Mhm.
like landed on these. And then I have 2 different worsted weights. And again, one is like a kind of more traditional worsted weight. That's why I call it, like, it's straight up worsted. The other, and that one is a 4-ply, 3-ply or 4-ply. And then, but the other one, that's the super plush worsted, is
Mhm.
it's like crazy because there's 2 plies of, it's like 8, it's an 8-ply. So there's like 2 4-plies twisted together. So that's another one that's like, it's super like twisty is the only way that I can explain it. And then yeah, so I have quite a few. A lot of people really like getting the fingering weight. These are actually, this was a special order. If anyone wants something else, I can get it. This is
I
really
saw
cool.
you're very into special orders, which is always like a bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, these
Sometimes it's easy to find
actually,
people.
this is not even one that I'm carrying. I bought it, I ordered this special because this woman is making, I'm thinking, I think I can say this because no one will know who she is. This woman is making a blanket. She ordered 10 skeins of an Aran weight to do a blanket for her 2 friends, women who are getting married in April. So she's making them like a 2-person kind of blanket out of this, which is really cool.
Cool.
So I love that. But yeah, like I do all kinds of things. This, my daughter just wanted me, I don't know if you can see it, but
Oh,
this is like my
sorry.
daughter's school colors. She wanted me to dye this and knit
Now
hats
it's
for
find my
her.
mouse. I
Yeah.
keep
And
The
then,
problem is when I'm sharing the screen, I can see the mouse on the screen I'm sharing and the real mouse, and I always
oh,
forget which one's which.
and this is what, if anyone sees,
Fun.
you can see what's over my head there.
Oh yeah.
That's my clapo tee. And then I did it in, this is called Scout's Fave because these are my favorite colors,
Nice.
purples and pinks and blacks. But yeah, so this whole thing, it's popped off. I mean, so the thing I wanted to do is I was involved with Makers for Harris, Makers for Kamala, and I donate $4 of every skein bought to the Harris Walls
Right.
campaign. And at this point, I've already donated $760.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay, first of all, that is awesome for the campaign. And second of all, when you do the math, I am very happy for you
yeah, it
because
has
that's
been,
a nice little chunk. That's a nice
yeah.
little money amount of
Well,
money for you too as a business
yeah,
person.
when I launched it on August 29th, it was Labor Day sale, so everything was 20% off, which was
Right.
great for everyone. But so but yes, so I'll donate. There's more because I was not here over the weekend and someone bought like $200 worth of just this.
Yeah, and I see that you have, like, when you go here, let me just point out a couple things real quick. So guys, when you go to, I put the link right here, but it's just really easy.
And it's on the front page
And
too.
there's also on the description in, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's on the front page if you just go to Finch
Yeah.
Mod, like, yeah, too.
And in the description on YouTube and on Facebook, unfortunately, it doesn't share the description on Instagram, which is why I put it on here as well. But in those descriptions, you can find all the links and they'll be clickable. But then when you're on this page, you can see there's a little spot here where you can check out the yarn bases, which is nice because then you can see not only, like, we learned a lot about what they're like, but then if you wanted to know how many yards are in each one, which that will help you decide how much you need, go ahead and click on the yarn bases to see how many yards you want. Okay.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then,
there's the thick and thin too. I knew I was leaving one, and that's a
oh yeah,
really pretty.
where
I've
the
had
is at
quite
the
a few
bottom.
people do that
Yeah.
one and do like these really super plushy hats with the one ply. Yeah,
Where's the thick and thin? Oh,
all the
is it?
way down at the bottom. It's like
Oh,
the
it's labeled bulky here.
yeah. Sorry,
Oh,
bulk.
there we go.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
that
That
one
I
is
love
like
that yarn. That kind of
it's
yarn.
like a Malabrigo. Like it's so
Yeah.
soft. It's really pretty.
And then you'll also see, guys, right here, when you sign up to receive the newsletter, you get 10% off. So sign up to get the newsletter. There's so much more here than yarn, guys. Sign up to get the newsletter. Not only is there awesome products and so much more than yarn, we know that Jamie is like our people, and I don't know about you, but I like making sure that my money is going to people who are not putting it in stupid places. So we know we're safe. If we're buying something from Jamie, we know our money is going to a good person, and any extra money she has is going to great places. So that's always good.
And I will say
So
that,
yeah,
almost every single small business that I have in my shop, they're almost every single one is like woman-owned business, which is
yeah.
I love that too. So,
Oh, we were going to show off your bags.
oh yeah, if you go up to tools and
Tools and
accessories and bags and totes,
totes.
I don't know how
Really
many
easy
people.
to navigate, guys.
Yeah, and I will say a lot of people don't know about the Mica Goods bags. They're kind of everywhere, but I
Yeah,
absolutely love like the little tote bag, but the carry-all
they're
bag is the big
cute.
bag. It's what I travel with now, and
This one,
it's gigantic. It fits under the seat in front of you when you travel. So my
nice.
carry-all bag had like 3 different go knit pouches, all my yarn, and it just was the only bag that I took besides my
Ooh, look, it's got
it
like lots of spaces inside. So you said you got the carry-all bag, but then you can fit a couple of the
a
little
lot.
go knit.
Yep.
So we
Yeah.
have the go knit zip, and these are great because they're easy to clean off.
Yep.
And they're usually I don't know if they're technically waterproof, but they're
Yeah.
kind of sort of
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty waterproof. I see people all the time, like, um, doing TikToks of them knitting in a pool in a bowl, like,
Oh yes, yes, yes.
and I'm like, get one of my bags, like, at least put it in a bag so you don't have to worry. So
Just in case it falls out. Look at all the colors, guys.
these are the original ones, and
You could
next
make a
year,
flag.
yeah, yeah, and next year will be the 20th anniversary of this company, and they're just, yeah, they have all the cool part about it is that it has like a snap, so you can like snap. Like when I was on the plane, I
I
actually
love that.
yeah, I put my counter, my kacha counter on that. And then even in here, there's another
Yeah.
snap that you can put your yarn through so it kind of stays guided through there. But again, this was just on the floor. And then, I have to keep going the wrong way. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no, I love the little snap loops because like sometimes they have the loop, which is great for carrying or tossing on your wrist or whatever. But if you want to attach it to something, you
yeah,
need to be able to unloop the loop.
yeah.
So
So
those are great for a project bag. I should go back to comments because I realize I'm over here on banners, and I should go back to comments because it's telling me that more people are talking. Let's see. Yeah, that was the thick and thin, I think. Yes, of course. Purple is awesome.
purple is life. Purple, black, pink. I mean, hello, that's why.
Sarah was already checking out the yarn bases. Oh, good question. Thank you. Monique is in Canada.
I do ship to Canada. Yes. Yeah.
Where do you ship?
Right now, just it's Canada and the US. But I will say, I had someone yesterday or ask if I could ship to the UK. And all I did was I said, let me, what do you want? I went and figured out the weight. I mean, it's going to be $20 to ship one skein of yarn, but she's like, it's worth it. She actually wants a skein of this. So she's, paying the $20
So
to get it.
you easily directly through the site do US and Canada. If you are somewhere else other than US and other than like North America,
Yes.
and you would like to just message Jamie and you can buy the item plus whatever the shipping costs, you just may be paying a whole lot for shipping, but
So expensive.
that's how it works.
It used to be so cheap when I ran Scout Swag, and it was like $4 to do like, I don't know, a flat rate envelope. I used to.
Yeah.
Now
I
it's
mean,
just,
nowadays it's like I have for Crochet Foundry, I have some yarn companies that like limit the number of international designers they'll ship to, because with Crochet Foundry we have a lot of international designers. So we have yarn partners, and I have some yarn partners that are like, there is no such thing as a limit. But those are like the big people who have the big money, right? Although the other one is, there are some big people in the other category as well, but we're not going to go there. But then there's other companies that are just like, okay, well, sky's the limit for US, but if you want international, we'll only do like 1 or 2 international designers
oh wow.
because I do it by season, per season, because it's when you do shipping and customs, and I'm like, okay, you wouldn't have as much of a problem with customs if you actually read the notes on the little thing that I send you that tells you how to not get tagged with customs, which is basically listed as
Yeah.
designer sample, no value. And then you don't get tagged. I've had to pay the customs before, when like the yarn company is like, what do you mean customs? I'm not paying the customs. Meanwhile, the product is stuck in customs, and then I have to pay the customs because I'm not going to ask the designer to.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's
Shipping is nuts.
I don't want to worry about any of that. I've already like learned my mistakes on on shipping, because you know, I didn't take into account that it's like, I take my yarn, I put in a little thing, and then I wrap it in tissue, and then and it's like, it's not 3 ounces, it's 5 ounces. So but I have eaten quite a bit of shipping since I started the little, I mean, I literally went live July 4th, I think, was with this.
Wow.
So that's how
Nice.
long this has been open. It's not been open for very long. And yeah, but this has been so much fun doing this. I mean, I love it. And people love it.
I have never seen, like, I've certainly seen politics in the maker community, you know, but I have never seen the maker community come together for like political reasons as much as they have for this, you know, for this election.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, and I get it. I totally get it, especially like you, as the mother of, I have 2 queer children, and my brother and his I'm the black sheep as the straight cis one. And I'm volunteer staff for Knit the Rainbow, and I'm the token straight cis person.
Oh, that's
with,
well,
with Knit
and
the
in
Rainbow.
2 of the schools where I taught, in my middle school and in the Texas high school, I started the GSA clubs there. So
I'm so proud of my daughter. She's the president of her GSA.
that's so awesome.
And the Dungeons and Dragons group, of course.
That is so cool. I love the group here. The group here, it was in 2020 during COVID when I started the one here at our high school.
Nice. And, in Texas, that's really needed.
Oh my gosh, but it was hilarious because like I think I'm pretty hip and I know stuff, and these kids just cracked me up because they would just come to class, and I had one girl who would decide if she was a he or she depending on the day, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's gender fluid.
But they were so, I learned, so I'm like, wait, what? And they're like, oh, I'm this romantic and pan and all these, and I'm just like,
and that's one of the reasons why, like, when I was a teenager, I would go with my brother and his other queer friends to rallies and stuff, and we would be standing there chanting, "We're here, we're queer, we're not going anywhere." And I'd be like, "Am I allowed to say that? Because I'm not." And they're like, "It's okay, you're an honorary queer when we're here." And I'm like, "Okay, cool," you know.
Yeah.
But and then for a while it was like not a nice word.
Yeah.
And now it's taken back again, you know. And that's one of the reasons why is you've run out of letters.
Yeah.
And then the one letter stands for like 10 different things. And it's just like, okay, queer. It's like, if you're not straight and cis, you're queer.
Yeah.
And it changes so much. And some people have like 10 different things that they are, because people are finally allowed to, well, not entirely, but they're starting to feel like they can be who they are.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, exactly. These things always existed. People just didn't have names for them and didn't feel safe being them.
I have to find, I was just grading, hold on, I wanted to read this because I saw the coolest thing that a kid said. So yesterday I was doing, I wish I could find it. Yesterday with my freshman, I'm not gonna be able to find it, but it was really cool. So yesterday, so I teach a freshman seminar class at Texas State University. It's kind of like, I laugh because it's almost like a mom class. So it's the class that bridges high school to college. And so we're kind of like, we do a lot of different things. I do like a scavenger hunt to show them around the campus, do a tour of the library, blah, 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 all that stuff. But one of the things that's important to me is that I make sure they are registered to vote on, like, in Hayes County, which is where the school is, because I want them to go vote in college, while they're
Yeah.
at school and not have to worry about being at home. So I have a woman who comes in from the League of Women Voters, and she literally, like, yesterday was the first day, and tomorrow I do my second class. We register the kids to vote.
Nice.
But I have them do a political typology quiz. We don't talk about candidates or anything like that.
Right.
I don't ask them anything about.
No, in that situation, that's the proper thing to do.
And I don't even, obviously, I'm surprising. It would surprise most people. I don't say anything about myself personally, but I just talk about the importance of voting and how it's a privilege and it's your first presidential election. But the thing I have them do is I have them, before they take the political typology quiz, it's really interesting. It's done by Pew Research. And I love the first page of it just says, where do you fit in the political typology? Are you a faith and flag conservative, progressive left, or somewhere in between? And so I have them, before they take it, I say, think about where you think that you are. Then they take the quiz, and then the exit ticket is they write me a few sentences. I say, how did you feel after you took it? Did you get the results that you thought, or not, yes or no, and blah, blah, blah. So, but there was a girl, I wish, I can't find it. But she basically said, I've always thought that I was kind of, I think she thought that she was like more left leaning. She said, but when she took the quiz, she realized how left she was, more progressive left. She's like, because the questions were all about human rights. Like, hello.
It shouldn't be politics. Human rights should not be politics.
What I mean, so, and that's what these questions are like. They kind of like are almost tricky and sneaky in the way that they ask questions that you don't realize they're asking you about, kind of like where. But my 18-year-old student yesterday was like, duh. So yeah, I'm for human rights.
Yeah. See, all right, well, we have the different expressions of your gender and sexuality have always existed. People were not allowed to have labels. No one spoke of it. Now they can. Yes, exactly.
And I've always been, especially when I came to Texas, I've always asked my students, tell me what your pronouns are. And I apparently were not, like, they tried to stop us from doing that when I was teaching in 2020. And I had parents, no one knows where I taught, but I legitimately had students. I had 3 students out of 150 kids who told me their pronouns, which were different than the name and pronouns on like the school list. And I mean, these kids, a couple of them had been dealing with, had like tried to commit suicide and were not even coming to school because of their mental health issues. And their parents, they would tell me that their parents refused to let them be acknowledged by the pronouns and gender they chose.
I have kids who come to my house who use their pronouns and names that are truly theirs. Mm-hmm. And I have to be told what their pronouns and names their parents.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that I won't use them because I feel gross when I do. So I find ways to not use a pronoun or a name when I see the parent. I'll be like, your kid is awesome. They're welcome to come by anytime,
Yeah.
It's like, it makes me so sad. Like, I see the parent and like, and I'll usually tell the kids, like, as I get closer with some of these kids, I'm like, I want you to know that when I'm being all like sweet to your parents, it's not because I like them. Like, it's because I love you and I want you to be able to continue to come here where you are free to be yourself. So I'm going to do everything I can to stay on your parents' good side so that you can continue to come here where you can use your name and your pronouns and you can be the person you are because you need that space, know? But I always make sure they know that, it may look to your parents like I think they're awesome, but.
Well, I always had, so when I first came to the Texas school, it was COVID and I had half the kids in my class and half the kids were virtual. And I made sure that behind me at every single time I had a safe school, like my classroom was, I had a rainbowy safe school, safe zone thing. So
Mhm.
that kids knew the second they saw me, they were like, okay, she's an ally. Like, and that's, I mean, listen, I don't know. I think this is where for me, it's just like, it doesn't make any, I just want people to be who they are and love who they want to love. Like, I don't know. I don't care. Mind your own damn business, right?
Exactly.
It's
It's like
like,
if you're not currently dating, if you're not looking for a significant other, then it doesn't matter what the other person's
yeah,
gender, sexuality, anything is. If you are looking for a significant other, then it only matters if you happen to be attracted to that person. Then you might want to know that stuff so
I
that
just
you know
don't
whether or not it
understand.
actually is going to work.
It
You
doesn't
know,
make sense to me why people care. Like,
beyond, yeah,
leave everyone alone.
beyond when you're looking to match up, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like, how does it affect you? How does it hurt you?
Yeah. So that's why I was very passionate, and I went
Mm-hmm.
through with this. I am so grateful to Kate for really like having me see that, I had to make that decision where it was like, of course I want to be a successful business, but you know what? Like, this may sound harsh, but I'm just going to say it. I don't want money from people who would hate someone like my son, or doesn't want my daughter to have rights to make decisions about her body. So those two things alone, I was like, all right, I'm going for it. And it's been awesome. And I have had people email me and leave me messages about how much they, like, were this like you, where they were just like, I live in a red, I'm a whatever, a blue dot in a red state, and I have 4 kids, and 3 of them are this, and I just appreciate you so much doing this, and I stand for you. Like, so I've gotten really good
I
response.
get so much more love mail than hate mail.
Hmm.
I get, I very, very, very rarely, I don't really, I'm not sure that I've ever gotten a personal, like an email or a PM or something that's hate mail. I've gotten it publicly, like on a public social media site, but personally, I've gotten love mail. Never, but
I
not
haven't
the hate
had
mail that I ever remember.
I haven't had a single person say anything negative. I mean, I'm on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. There's not been a single comment, and maybe because it's the name of the yarn is Zero F's,
Yeah.
so they kind of maybe realize, like, you don't want to mess with me. Like, listen, I am born in Philly,
Yeah,
Long
I don't
Island,
get as much as I used to because when I first started speaking out more, I definitely, when it was before I bought Crochet Foundry, it was just Jessie at home. And I definitely lost some people, and they're like, "You're losing me as a customer," blah, 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 blah. But the great thing was, I didn't even have to say anything because the rest of my people were like, "Okay, well, there's the door. Let it hit you on the way out." And they know my sayings. They know, please let the door hit you on the way out, and they know, I don't you love it when the trash takes itself out. So
yeah.
now they say it, and I don't even have to anymore because they know. I'm like, if that's how you believe, I don't want your business, I don't want your money,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
know
And
not that
that's what
that's who you are.
Yeah, and I did a really cool, I did a giveaway already, but the giveaway was I had a friend, this was so awesome. He has a trans child, and he doesn't knit or crochet, but he's like, I want to take part, and I love what you're doing. So he paid for and bought 2 skeins of yarn,
Aw.
and for me to do a giveaway. And
Oh,
in
how
the gift
nice.
and so it's really cool to go and read what people wrote. I did the normal, like follow, share, but I said, I want to know what you'll make with the yarn and what you're looking forward to with a Harris Walls administration. So just to see what everyone had to say, like, there was no one's gonna mess with me when they see all the people who are like totally supporting.
Yeah, they're
So,
starting to figure this out.
yeah, yeah. I will say, my neighbor, who I already don't like a couple of houses
Yeah.
down, just put up a certain sign that everyone was messaging me about, which was hilarious. They're like, did you see it? My husband came home last night and was like, yeah, he put one up. And then I texted my next door neighbor, and she's like, I was gonna tell you. But I don't, even where I live, I mean, it's Austinish. So
Yeah.
people who know Texas, they call it Austin, California in a lot of ways. So Austin isn't like
Nice.
anything but Texas, but I live just a little bit south of it. But yeah, Texas has been, when people ask me where I live, I moved here for my husband's job, and I don't, I know it sounds terrible, but I say I live in Texas, not by choice.
You know what? I used to say that about Jersey. Like when I first moved here, we had Christie as our governor.
Where do you live in New Jersey? My dad lives there.
I live in Nutley, so I'm right by the Lincoln Tunnel and Meadowlands Stadium.
Okay.
The next town over is Montclair, which is like Montclair is very blue, and like quite literally about half the staff of the New York Times lives there, which is just hysterical to me. I love it. But it's very blue, and I wish I lived in Montclair. But it's a little bit too expensive. It's a lot bit too expensive for me. Where I live is a little bit too expensive for me, but we live here anyway because the schools are really great, and it was close to where my husband teaches, which is in Paterson, New Jersey, which if you ever saw the movie Lean on Me, is where he teaches.
Oh, nice. Wait, my dad lives in Scotch Plains.
I'm not sure where that is.
So Scotch Plains, Westfield, Muhlenberg Hospital. So it's like, it's an hour to the city, and it's like 30 minutes to Newark. Okay. So it's like it's literally just, I'm like, it's just west of the city. Like if you just go.
Okay, so it's probably a little bit west of me. Yeah.
Middle of New Jersey. So.
Yeah. So where I am, New Jersey is decently blue.
Yeah.
The town that I live in is kind of purple with a little bit more red than I like. I mean, I would like blue. I would like blue. But it's purple leaning towards red, which is one of the reasons why I love living on my computer and talking to all of you guys, because you're my safe space. You have a lot of California, yeah, because this is Sarah is your neighbor here, and she moved from Chicago.
I moved from.
Yeah, I met her husband on Twitter, where we found out he was in Texas. Found the most liberal. Well, again, apparently, you and Jamie need to
Yeah, the blue. Yeah, no, that's true for sure.
That's really kind of cute.
I just actually met, and I have a new friend in my neighborhood. I met her out walking, and now we walk every single day. And it's funny when you meet someone, again, even at my age, like, and I'm like the detective-y type person. So I knew her first name, and then I looked to see if she was in our Facebook group. And then I was able to go look at her profile, because before I actually asked her to walk the first time, I needed to know
if she was going to say something that would make you want to punch her.
Yeah. Yeah. So I looked, and on her Facebook page, the first thing that she had at the top of her thing was raising money for like World Kitchen. I was like, she's my people.
Yeah, exactly. It's like once you hit about 40, you're like, you have no to give at that point. And you're just like, no, if you are bad for my mental health, then you need to go away.
Yeah.
I don't want you. I don't want you in my life. I don't want you in my business. I want nothing to do with you if you are bad for my mental health. And I want nothing to do with you if you do not believe that everybody deserves to be happy, and it's hard enough to find love.
And the first time we walked, I made a few comments about how, I'm liberal, but my husband is Republican, but not supportive of the current person.
He's a Republican, like Lincoln was a Republican.
Yeah, he's been a businessman and worked for Walmart for almost 30 years, so it's a lot of that. But obviously we're married, and we've been together, and so we have a lot of very similar.
Something tells me he hasn't been voting Republican for the last couple presidential elections.
Yes, and trust me, the last election there could have been a divorce, because and thank God he was busy, and I don't normally advocate for this, but he did not get to vote, and I said, perfect. Like, I'd rather have you not work. But when I was talking to my new friend Sarah, I told her about that, and I said, but blah blah blah, and she kind of stopped me at one point. She's like, we're very liberal, so we can talk about anything. And I was like, thank you. And the thing about her is that not only is she like liberal, but she's really smart. And I mean, I'd like to say that I am educated, and I read the news. I try to, and I educate myself, and learn. I love learning, and my ADHD keeps me busy wanting to, I can't just see something and then not like go down the rabbit hole learning about it. And she's the same way. So it's really nice to have someone that I can really talk to about she knows everything that's going on that I do. And
Yeah.
that's been,
Yeah. And it's like when it's hard to say this in a way that doesn't come off like snooty. But when you're a really intelligent person, sometimes you need, like, I don't mind being around other people who aren't, geniuses or really intelligent, or, incredibly intelligent that way. But sometimes you just need to be able to talk to people where you're all going to understand each other,
Mhm.
and you
Yeah.
can get into these like deep conversations and stuff. And it's nice when you find those people. I mean, there are other times like there's a place for every kind of friend, but I have to say, like, I have this core little friend group that we're like online, and we're all very intelligent and we're all very crochet-y. We're designers and tech editors. It's Tamara from Moogly and Mary Beth Temple from well, she hooked on crochet, but she's rebranding right now. Lindsay Stevens, who is a phenomenal tech editor and designer. My other tech editor, Pia Thadani, and Andy Graves from Hands, Mama's Two Hands.
Mhm.
And like we're talking all the time. We go to shows together. Like, this is how we met, is through this. Um, and once a year we all get together and like a little social thing. um that's not actually at a conference. We have our own little like social weekend, and
Fun.
it's so nice to just have those people where you can talk, and they're going to understand you intellectually. They're going to be able to go deep dives with you on crazy things. When you're talking designs, they're going to be able to follow the math.
Yeah.
And when you're talking politics and you're talking you're talking basic human rights, they're going to stand up on the soapbox and yell with you.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I have like a similar group of friends, like again, Amy Sadler of Nitty.com and Kate Gilbert, like all of those people. And
Yeah,
I love,
people.
I think the thing for me is, first of all, I have friends who don't know what's going on every single day. And you know what? There are some days
You
I
wish.
would I would love that. I would love to not like to just not work, because I have anxiety and everything, I'm so emotional about everything, and to not like have things phase me at all. I wish I could be that way, because it's exhausting to be this way. But I need people right now, especially, who I can text them and be like, OMG, did you see this? We're all like, did you see this? Did you hear this? Did you see that? And I want people who are like, who get it. And
Yeah.
right now, for sure.
Right, because this is the time when we have gone back in time to the point where women have to stand and fight.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
we've gone back to our mothers and our grandmothers, to where if we want it done, we have to do it ourselves. We have to stand and fight. We have to be strong. And while I completely understand ignorance is bliss, like I 100% understand it, and there are times that I wish I had it,
Yeah.
I'm glad that I don't, because as much as ignorance would be bliss, I don't want to be party to being part of the problem. And when there's problems like we have right now, if you're not part of the solution, then you are part of the problem.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, like, I've talked to a couple of people and I talk about Project 2025, and they're like, what? And I'm just like,
I
oh,
had to make my husband go research it. Like this was like a month or two. This was
oh
probably
yeah.
like 2 months ago.
Mhm.
And I said something about it, and he's like, "What?" I'm like, "No, no." I said, "Just go to your room." He has his own office. I'm like, "Go to your room and look it up." I'm
Yeah.
like, "I know you don't like me telling you what to think and what politics are." I'm like, "So go to your room and look it up."
Mhm.
I'm like, "But no,
And
you do not know."
well, this is hilarious. So with my husband, I get emotional, and when I get emotional about things, I forget what I want to say. So I like to write things down.
Oh my
So recently,
god, so
it was like 2 weeks ago, we were talking about a topic that I won't get into, and I was really upset about it. And I kept like, it was one of those things where I was like, ah, and then I'm like, I can't talk about this anymore. And then I went, took a shower, and I thought about it more, and it came out, and I'm like,
Oh, the shower. That's
oh,
always where it comes out.
and then finally I go, I'm writing you a research paper tomorrow, and I'm giving you all of the things that I'm like, I can't say right now. And I am not kidding you. Like, in the morning, I get up really early and have my coffee. That's my Zen time. I did this whole full on Google spreadsheet of like the different platforms and the pros and cons and this and I did everything. And I did a whole, I did, yeah, because I feel so passionate about some things. And he got me like so worked up about a few things because I will say that he does not just follow one news source, but anytime he tells me things, I immediately say, where did you get that from?
Exactly.
I fact check him all the time. And I'm like, absolutely not. Where did you get that from? And then I'm like, I'm like, no, and because he like, I think there's part of him that likes to kind of like be the devil's advocate and antagonize me because he'll even do stupid stuff like, even like the news about P. Diddy the other day. He came home and I'm like, did you see that? And he goes, yeah, his lawyer said that he's innocent. And I'm like, what? And I couldn't tell if he was like believing the lawyer, like, but that's just kind of his.
He was just saying it to get you riled up.
Yesterday, I'm like, yeah, well, I guess you think that the lawyer is, and he's like, no, the lawyer's crazy. I'm like, okay, thank you, because that's probably but I
swear sometimes it's just a pastime. Just like, how much can I rile up the wife without having to sleep on the couch?
No, for sure. Like he does. But we can really get into it. And the funny thing is that the next morning I said, I did my research paper, and he was leaving to go do like a marathon. He's an ultra marathon runner, but he's like, I'll read it when I get there. And I said, okay, well, just know that it talked about this and this and this. And it's a good, I actually don't know. And I got it all out there and I didn't hear from him and he loves it. He absolutely loves how smart I am and how passionate I am.
Yeah.
And he loves getting me.
You have to. If you're going to marry somebody who is super smart and super passionate, it has to be a big part of what attracted you to them.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you will end up divorced.
And I honestly don't like talking about stuff with him because I get upset. And it's just like, I love my dad now, but he was very difficult when I was growing up and he was a yeller. So I don't really like that contentiousness.
I'm really starting to think that you and I were like,
the same person,
living parallel lives. Only my husband isn't a Republican, but other than that,
we're gonna be. Do we get to be friends now?
Hell yeah.
Okay, we better be because.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was an okay four-letter word.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm very passionate about all of this, and like I'm super excited tomorrow to register another 25 kids, and then I really want to take all of them to go and go and vote, do early voting. So, but it's I don't know. There's just a lot going on right now. But
yeah, my daughter's going to be going to school in Atlanta. And so, I mean, they're both, my kids are twins. They're 17. They won't be 18 until July. So
they can't.
But I told her, I was telling the kids, I was like, you really want to look at where you live versus where you're in college, and then decide where your vote matters more when you decide where you want to register to vote. Mm-hmm. I'm like, for my daughter, she's probably going to want to register to vote where she goes to college. My son is probably going to go to school in Manhattan, which is a hop, skip, and a jump from here, but it is another state. So, he'll probably just register at home.
And one of the things that the League of Women Voter Volunteer talks about is the 411 website where you can go to, and she really talks about the importance of, no more than we're doing more than just voting, for a president, and
there's more things to vote for than just the president. There's more times to vote than every 4 years.
Right. And I mean, hello, in Texas, we have a very close Senate race with Ted Cruz. So, I just saw yesterday that I think he might be behind by 1 point. So I was like, learn about your senators, learn about, you need to know where your taxpayers' dollars go. Like, I just want them. Yes.
We do lives every Wednesday that I am home, which is most Wednesdays. And it's a different time on every first, second, third, fourth Wednesday of the month. And this one's the one from 1 to 3.
Oh, we did it at the wrong time?
So it's 12:59.
Oh.
I think it might be, was it 11:59 for you?
Yeah.
Are you an hour off?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are like, but they all know where I am right now. So they're not going to be like, oh my God, it's not happening. They know I'm here. Okay. They know that sometimes it starts a little late when it's the one that's at 1 o'clock.
I just have to look at one thing. Hold on.
But remember, guys, here, let me pull this up again. This one. Ha ha ha. And look in the description on Facebook and on YouTube. And here is, for those of you on Twitter who don't, I can't for some reason give you the description at the beginning. Here is the link for the pearls, chucks, and zero you know what's. And also just finishmod.com. There's those awesome bags, and there's a lot of other stuff. So take a look at everything. Jamie seems to be pretty darn cool about the whole custom orders. The regular shipping is North America. If you live outside of there and want to order something, just message her and you guys can figure that out. And Jamie is definitely one of us. So good place to spend your money. This stops selling on November 5th. So buy them now. You can sign up for the newsletter to find out all of the awesomeness. And if it's your first time signing up for the newsletter, you get 10% off, right?
Yes. So
do that. Buy yourself some really awesome yarn and tell Jamie how awesome she is. So
I wish I could stay on. I'm sorry that
I know.
I have to go back to work. People have been messaging me and they're like driving me crazy at work.
You have been awesome. Hopefully you get some extra sales and hopefully you get a lot more fans. And yeah, anytime, and we'll chat some more. We're gonna have to maybe have you do some like a guest article or something like that too.
Yeah, anything. I mean, I love doing this, so I love talking about what I do, and obviously I'm passionate about it. So, and I am trying to learn how to crochet. I have a dream project. I struggle with crocheting. I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to go. But I am a thrower, so I hold the yarn in my right hand. I've been knitting since before I was 10. So for me, I've tried to learn how to knit continental and be a picker, but so I think that's where I struggle because crocheting, holding the yarn in my left hand. But there's this woman, I think her user, she's in Italy, I believe, and it's like Clara Crochet, I think is her name. And she has made, there's this one sweater I want to make where you do, I think it's like 26 granny squares with in the retro flower. And hers that she did, it was black with like the flowers were like pink and purple. And it is the coolest top. And those are my crochet goals. I still can, I actually, Drew helps me with stuff, but I learned how to do.
And you should befriend Sarah because you guys might be close. You might be able to like get together.
Because I learned how to I can do basic stuff, but I just cannot figure out the tension. And anyway, but so I do have a crochet goal. One day I will make that.
One of us.
Yeah, I am in spirit for sure. So anyway, but I'm going to go back to work. I really appreciated this and I can't wait for us to be besties.
All right. Well, it was wonderful getting to know you. I'm so glad that I stumbled upon that post the other day, and have an awesome day. And
thank you.
We will be talking again.
Okay. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Talk to you soon. And guys, I will see you all at the live at the Sit and Stitch here. So we're both going to go, and then I'll see y'all at the Sit and Stitch. So bye everybody.